Deadlock right now does not support controllers officially, but Steam input should work flawlessly. But unfortunately, there are still some hidden controls which I will be talking about in this video. I will be giving a general explanation of all the controls. So let's start with left joystick. Left joystick is used for movement, and if you click your left joystick, then it is going to be a dash. Similarly, right joystick is going to be for only camera, and if you click right joystick, then it will be a melee. Directional pads are mainly only used for active items, and the sequence is going to start from left and then goes to down and then right and then up. So let's go with face buttons. A is used for jumping, and if you hold A, then it is used for mantling. And it is also used for second ability. I will be talking about how to use abilities in just a minute. B is for crouching, and when you are in air and if you double tap B, you will actually dash downwards. Now there is a great channel called Leaf, and he explains about movement tech and everything, and sometimes you can actually use downward dash for movement tech. I would highly recommend you to watch his videos so that you will get some idea regarding movement. But yeah, it is not completely obsolete, but yeah, it is sometimes useful. And B is also used for third ability. X is used for reloading, and if you hold X, it will reset the camera position to a default state. This is genuinely useful when you are doing some shenanigans with your camera and you just want to have a default camera position. Holding X will always save you. This is very, very useful. And X is also used for first ability. Y is used for parrying, but if you hold your left bumper and hold Y at the same time, you will actually cancel certain abilities. So I would say channeling abilities like Hayes ultimate, Moenkril Burrow, McGinnis ultimate or Mina's ultimate, that takes time, right, to complete the entire ultimate. So those type of abilities can be cancelled by holding your left bumper and Y. And of course, Y is also used for your fourth ability or ultimate. Now left bumper is one of the most important buttons basically. So it is used for extra information, but also it is used for using your abilities. So while holding left button, if you press any face buttons, respective abilities are used. So that's how you actually use your abilities and ultimates. You can use the casting for instant casting or quick casting or default casting. I would highly recommend you to use instant casting because it is quick and you don't have to think a lot. So yeah, instant casting, at least that's what I use always. On the other hand, right bumper is only used for ping, and unfortunately I still don't know how to exactly use the ping because it's kind of a bit mess right now. So I'm not going to say anything because again, this is unofficial. It's a great thing that the inputs are even working in the first place. So I'm not going to complain, but yeah, right bumper is not that useful. Left trigger is used for alt fire and right trigger is used for firing. Now there are these two extra buttons. Now I tried to search what they even are. It seems they are start and back, but in the Steam input, it just shows with left direction and right direction. So I don't know what to call them. So I'm just going to call them left extra button and right extra button. So left extra button is basically tab. So you can upgrade your abilities. So holding your left extra button and pressing on any face buttons will upgrade your ability. And you can just look at any debuffs you have or any other extra information that you might need. So it is always useful for that purpose. Right extra button is mainly for only shop. And unfortunately, that's the only way for you to look at your abilities. So unfortunately, since there is no cursor, you cannot look at what upgrades will do for you. So you have to go to the shop and then look at all your abilities, like what they do. So that's the unfortunate part. But yeah, and holding right extra button will actually act as an escape basically. So you can go back. So that's all the controls. So I hope this was useful, but there are still some things that I would recommend you to change. First thing is camera sensitivity. By default, your camera sensitivity is at 270 degrees per second. That is insane. You cannot aim properly. I would highly recommend you to reduce it and just get used to controllers, and then you can actually increase it if you want. Right now I'm using it at 210 degrees and it is not that easy, unfortunately. Another big problem is the melee. It is right joystick click. It's not always useful because you are changing direction, but at the same time you are pressing the right joystick. So it's a bit mess. I would recommend you to change the ping from right button to double tapping left button or left bumper and keeping melee to right bumper. It's a lot more easier to actually just get used to it. So yeah, I would highly recommend you to change that. Another thing that I did change is swapping my alt fire and fire. my right hand is actually doing a lot of work. Like I'm doing movement, right? Like jumping, crouching, reloading and everything. And on top of that, I'm actually using it to control my camera and using abilities. So there is a lot of work happening with my right hand. And firing also, it just keeps too much pressure, right? So what I did is I changed my normal fire to my left trigger and alt fire to my right trigger. So let's go with items. Items can, there are some items that can help you genuinely in just easing up the use of controller. The first thing is monster rounds. Now this is actually very useful even when you're using keyboard and mouse, but monster rounds is genuinely useful because this is a MOBA, right? So you're always fighting NPCs. So generally I would recommend monster rounds if you're playing some sort of a support or low DPS kind of hero. So yeah, monster rounds, it's always useful, and it upgrades to cultist sacrifice. That is also very, very useful. Split shot is one of the best abilities that you can, items that you can buy. But I would recommend to buy split shot if you're playing heroes like Page or Viscous. Even Viscous have an alt fire, which is genuinely very useful. So yeah, for those type of heroes, split shot is very useful. Or else you can buy Tesla bullets as a very good replacement for split shot. Now, since it is like a miniaturized split shot and ricochet, and you can use Tesla bullets for comboing. You can buy Tesla bullets and suppressor, or Tesla bullets or mystic slow. So basically whenever you're dealing shock, your opponents are also getting slowed, or their fire rate is getting slowed. So there is a lot of advantage with Tesla bullets. And in higher elo, like in main esports, most of the people that I have seen are actually only buying Tesla bullets and not ricochet. So if you're very much into meta items, then I would say Tesla bullets is a very good item in that perspective. Now it does upgrade to capacitor, which is even more powerful. But unless and until you are very sure that you are going to use the active item, I would not recommend it. Another great item is ricochet, of course. It's very good if you have a bullet proccing hero like Haze or Infernus or Mina, or even Viper. If you upgrade lethal venom to complete max level, then you can actually proc lethal venom with your bullet. So it's very strong. But I would not recommend Viper with a controller because it's very hard. But we will talk about heroes in just a minute. But yeah, if you have some sort of hero who have bullet proccing, then yeah, ricochet is a very good item. Stamina items in general are going to be very useful. So stamina mastery is genuinely useful if you just want to get away, right? That's very good item. And if you want to select heroes like Shiv, who have very low ammo capacity, then kinetic dash is going to be very useful item. Or if you are playing heroes like Page or McGinnis, then having Spirit, right, like Arcane Surge is going to be very useful. So it depends on hero to hero. But yeah, genuinely, I would recommend to buy any sort of stamina items to just get some sort of a utility. Extra charge is also very useful for heroes like McGinnis or Page. It's genuinely useful, like just to offset your pressure, right? So yeah, extra charge is useful. Mystic expansion or greater expansion are genuinely one of the best items you can buy for heroes that benefit from it. So for me, Ivy's Kudzu Bomb is one of the best abilities. So combining Mystic Expansion with Kudzu Bomb is very, very cool. Now, on the other hand, if you're going for tanks, then Torment Pearls is a very good item for just auto attacking. So these are all the items that I would recommend to just test out for easing up the entire pressure for playing with a controller. So before going to the heroes part, I would want to give you some advice. The first thing is we are already at a massive disadvantage by unable to shoot properly, right? So that is the main thing in Deadlock, and we are at a massive disadvantage because of just using controller. So first thing I would say is do not take unnecessary risks or deaths. It's basically you shooting yourself in the foot, right? So don't do that. Dying will actually just keep you away from getting more souls or at least being in the fight, right? So don't die unnecessarily. Another thing is if you are unable to do damage, let's imagine you picked Paige and unfortunately she's unable to do any damage and you're not getting any souls properly. So if that's the case, then either go for debuffs, right? Like buying Spirit Sap or Rusted Barrels, or you can go for barrier type of items like Guardian Ward or Reactive Barrier or Spirit or Weapon Shielding. If you're getting picked on by your opponents, then go for these items. Or if you want to give a support type, then yeah, Guardian Ward or Divine Barrier is going to be very good. Or if you want to heal your allies, then Restorative Locket or Healing Rite are genuinely good items to buy. So just because you're not doing damage, it doesn't mean that you have to keep on buying weapon items. If you are unable to do damage, then go for debuffs, barriers or heals. again, just do this because, you know, basically your team is fighting 5v6, right? So don't let that happen. Don't be a liability. So if you're not able to do any damage in team fights, what you can do is at least help in terms of vitality or utility for your team, right? So be useful in some way. Look, there is no such thing as being useless. So yeah, even if you are the least souls person basically in the team, you can still give some sort of value to your entire team. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, these are all about the controls and everything. So let's actually move to heroes. Now there is one thing that I would tell you. So I have ganglion cyst in my right arm. So that's why I'm unable to play with keyboard and mouse, because it really hurts for me to play with those, you know, keyboard and mouse. So that's why I bought a controller, and that's why I'm playing with a controller. If you do not have any medical conditions that are holding you back, then I would say go for heroes that you like the best, right? Like that you think are looking very cool. You know, in that process, you will actually enjoy playing Deadlock. But if you need some sort of a general advice or guidance, then the following heroes will help you in just getting used to Deadlock. My favorite is support heroes, because, you know, I don't have to aim a lot and I can at least provide some benefit for my team. And when compared to TF2, you know, medic, which is a very stressful job, I would say support in Deadlock is a lot more easier, because barriers or healing items actually home onto your allies, or even debuffs actually home onto your opponents as well, right? Like, so you don't need precise aiming to use those items. So for me, that's the main reason why I love support heroes in Deadlock, is because it's not impossible to play with controllers. So yeah, that's why support heroes are the best, at least right now. Right now, there are 6 support heroes: Dynamo, Ivy, Kelvin, McGinnis, Page, and Viscous. Viscous is unfortunately quite hard. His entire kit is kind of complicated. So if you're okay with playing Viscous, then yeah, Viscous is cool, but he's very hard as well. My favorite picks are Ivy, McGinnis, and Page. And Page is my favorite right now because she's very easy to play. So I actually talked about easiest heroes to play in one of my videos, but yeah, Page is one of the most easiest heroes that you can pick up, and with a controller it's not that hard actually. But if you don't want support heroes, if you want to pick some tanks, then Abrams, Moenkrill, and Victor are very good heroes to pick. But okay, if you don't want tanks, then there are DPS characters that are also very good: Haze, Infernus, Mina, Victor, and Wraith. Victor is actually very good in both in terms of DPS, and he is a very good tank. But yeah, again, it's up to you on what heroes you want to select. But you do have to remember, if you're selecting DPS characters, you do have to aim, okay? So even if you buy split shot or ricochet, you still need to do aiming. So again, it will get easier as you keep on playing, but yeah, you just keep that in mind. But yeah, this is the entire complete guide for controllers if you're playing Deadlock. If you like this video, then consider liking it, and if you enjoy these type of videos, consider subscribing. And yeah, if you want to talk about anything else, or if I forgot anything, then please tell me about it in the comments below. And yeah, that's it. I hope to see you in my next video. Take care of your health, sleep well, and bye bye.